it seems like fruitful mission is rooted in prayer.
Yeah.
Can you give examples of what brought you to your knees in prayer when you were on mission, on campus, and the same or different kinds of things that brings you to your knees now in your role?
Oh man. I, yeah, I think anytime that I felt powerless, so this is what I'd say would be the same, is, which reality check is that everything we do that's good is the Lord. Everything we do is God's grace. That's good. It's never actually me. And so I think,
So implied there, then, what is power? What is power? Is powerlessness a good thing, or is powerlessness a bad thing?
yeah, that's a great question. Powerlessness is it's a great thing. I mean, that's like the degree to which we can depend on the Lord, or the degree to which we realize our neediness, is the degree to which God can break in. He actually wants to. I mean, look at the Gospels. Jesus, there's a number of times where he wants to break in. He wants the Father to break in through the reflection of, would you be like little children? Let the children come to me. Because when a child, it's so much easier for a child to know their neediness. And me as a thick-skulled like man, I mean, I don't want to be needy. I want to be the guy who has the answers, the guy who has the plan. And so, being on campus, it was the times where I was really hitting my knees were the times where I said, God, you actually have to show up here. And maybe it's because we didn't have our stuff together, but sometimes even you kind of feel like you have the plans in place, but the Lord has to show up like a fan in a flame retreat. Lord, if you don't come in power on Saturday night during the prayer time when we're praying for the fullness of the Holy Spirit in these people's lives, then what are we doing? You know, that's so I think this places of, God, I actually can't change people's hearts. You have to change them. And then from a development perspective, as I'm raising money, like, Lord, I can't convince this person that it's a good idea to give up $100,000, like, or 10,000 or 5,000 or 2,000 or whatever, whatever it is. I can have some encouragement, but even there, it's the Lord, and the Lord has to change the heart. And it's helpful to get to my knees and say, God, you have to do this because I can't.
Yeah, I love that you said powerlessness. And I think all of us feel like, oh, that's not something I want to feel.
Yeah.
It's actually, it's a terrible feeling.
Yeah.
And yet it's a thoroughly Christian principle to sort of embrace.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's awesome.
I mean, I would just say one. So I think Saint Therese of Lisieux talked a lot about this, and Saint John of the Cross maybe a little bit too. That dependence, one of the images like the elevator, where when we realize that we are needy, and it's God who can scoop us up almost like an elevator. I think elevators were just being invented at the time of Saint Therese. And so she was like, what if in my life, the ways that I really need God, what if he could break in and just lift me up to himself like an elevator does at this rich person's home, and I think that image is really powerful. It's been a huge help for me, for sure.
That particular image?
Yeah, that image. Yeah, of the Father just lifting us up. This place of, Lord, I can't do it.
Yeah.
You actually have to do this. And all too often I'm trying to pull the reins back and do it myself, but it's not where he wants us to live.